Okay, so we got a couple of big news stories to go over that has happened in the last couple of days, including today, with two kind of very interesting announcements and newsworthy stories. So today I'm going to be talking about the Komodo price cuts that we just heard just a few days ago. Blackmagic is finally shipping one of their cameras. Which one it is, we'll talk more about it. And Sigma finally releases a lens that competes with Canon's all-in-one lens, but with a compromise on the wider ends. But it comes at half the price. Is it going to be worth enough? And it's only for the E and L mounts. But we'll find out all about that, all that and more in today's camera news. What's going on, everybody? My name is James Jackson. If you're new here, I do tips, tricks, news, and reviews for the film and video making industry. So if this is content that you like, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can stay up to date on all the content going forth. So let's go ahead and start with the Komodo, or should I say Komodos, because both the Komodo and the Komodo X took very serious price cuts. And now they are on sale, specifically the Komodo X. The Komodo has lost roughly about $1,000, has been taken off. So instead of $6,000 for box only, it is now $5,000 for the original Komodo. And I think this is sort of par for the course. The Komodo has been around for several years now, and it's probably due to the time. This is just the process in terms of life cycles. But the big story is the Komodo X, which was only released, I think, just last year. And it has now seen a significant price cut, where originally it was at $10,000 for the body only. Now you can get a Komodo X for $7,000, which is, interestingly enough, coming around the time that Canon is releasing the C400. I've had a few of my friends talk about this and thinking that this is really putting a hold up on Canon's launch of the C400. But I would definitely love to know what you guys think. So definitely leave your comments down below. Me personally, I don't think it's going to affect the C400 that much. It is an all-in-one documentary full-frame camera. At the end of the day, as great as the Komodo X is, it's still not full-frame, and it won't ever be. If you are someone that is like, I need a full-frame camera, the C400 is still going to be your option, even with this price cut. But it does, I know it's probably going to make this much more antsy, much more interesting in terms of options. To me, the Komodo X is still, to me, a high-end cinema camera that people that love the Super 35 look. The C400 is a documentary style, running gun, all-in-one full-frame camera. To me, there's definitely clear lanes. It's just more figured out about the type of shooter you are. And in regards to the price cut, I will just say it is very interesting that in such a brief period of time. I think it's definitely going to bring more people in. But me personally, I'm not going to get a Komodo X anytime soon. I may look at aftermarkets, because I know those aftermarket prices are going to tank. And I can't wait to see, so I can scoop up a Komodo X that way. And that's sort of the direction I'm kind of going with myself personally as a shooter, is not necessarily chasing the latest and greatest in terms of my own purchasing power, but just finding deals and finding ways. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the things that make my content and the quality that I present is me. The camera is just an assistant. So, and that's just something that you should always remember, that the camera is just the assistant. At the end of the day, it is your storytelling, it is your creativity that ultimately will push everything to the finish line. I just want to make sure that all those people that complained and sort of made noise about Blackmagic slashing their full-frame cinema camera by 40% and was saying that Blackmagic was clearly a failure, or the camera was clearly a failure. I mean, I just want y'all to keep the same energy. That's all I want y'all to do. Just keep the same energy. I don't have a problem with red, but I just want to make sure people just keep the same energy when they make stuff, comments and stuff on the internet. But that is it for my thoughts on the Komodo. Let's move on to Blackmagic Design. This is something that we have been all waiting for. They are finally shipping one of their cameras that they announced back at NAB. We have just learned words from that, and it is the Ursa City 12K. I know a lot of y'all are still kind of bummed because most of y'all are looking at the Pixis. We still don't know when the Pixis is going to release. The fact that the Ursa City 12K is released is a good sign, because the one thing that Blackmagic has always stated is that the Ursa City 12K will be shipped before they start releasing the Pixis. And now that that leg has been lifted, which is also coming out right around the time after I made a video that I said DaVinci Resolve 19 was probably one of the leg ups that was being released. 19 is now out. They can now package 19 with these cameras. And guess what? The Ursa City 12K is now starting to ship. Just saying, I'm just saying. I am very excited for this camera and very excited to get my hands. I'm expected to get one in-house not too far into the distant future, hopefully by the end of this month. No confirmation whatsoever, but hopefully by the end of this month, I will get an Ursa City 12K in-house and get for you guys for review. So leave your comments down below of what you would like to see me go through regarding the Ursa City 12K. What sort of content? I would love to know what you guys. I can't wait. This is the camera I actually been the most excited for to get the hands on. Shoots 12K obviously, but the really interesting ones for me is that it shoots full frame 3x2 open gate 8K up to 144 frames a second. That's the open gate option. The 2:4:1 crop will give you 224 frames a second at 8K. And by the way, those same options are also in 4K, so where you can basically oversample the 12K all the way down to 4K, and no crop, no loss of image quality, and you get faster readout speeds, you get faster frames per second, and then there's also a bunch of new I/O ports, that second side, a fully articulating screen. This is the camera I've been the most excited to get my hands on. So when I do, I will definitely let you. And finally, we gotta talk about Sigma. Sigma has planted their flag and aiming directly at Canon with their all-in-one 24-105 with now this lens, which is the 28-105 f2.8. The 28-105 f2.8 is going to be available for both the Sony E-mount system as well as the Leica L-mount system. I think this is going to be a great pairing in terms of Blackmagic cameras with the Pixis that can be L-mount. All of a sudden, you got an L-mount with a box-style camera that's going to be really helpful for documentaries and more run-and-gun shooting. There is some things that I was hoping to hear more about, but it looks like which was maybe that would have some form of image stabilization. That seems to be the case. There is no image stabilization, and that sort of seems like that's the direction a lot of lens manufacturers are now going with their photocentric lenses, given the fact that IBIS has now reached, I think, a place where people are relatively satisfied with the image stabilizations of their cameras, so they're tending to do away with stabilizations in the lens. Hopefully I'll get one in my hands very soon. If you would love to see the 28-105 on the Cinema Camera 6K full frame or possibly on the Sony FX3, I would love to know. You guys leave your comments down below and I will do that. Personally, I'm really intrigued by this lens. I think this is particularly for the L mount, because the L mount has been having a problem for quite a while where its lens offerings are not on par spec-wise in terms of the pricings that they're charged outside of Panasonic and Sigma lenses, but there's a lot of lacking. Because if you actually do the research, I don't think there's a single L mount lens that has a constant aperture of 2.8 and faster and image stabilized. There isn't. having said all that, I think this lens, more than any other lens, is going to help level the playing field, especially given the fact that it is half the price of the 24-105 f2.8 lens from Canon. Now, there is some compromises and trade-offs. One, you lose 4 millimeters on the wider end, and I know for some photographers and for some people that's a bit too much. Me personally, 28 is perfect. That is my wide angle field. 28 to 31 range, that is my personal wide angle field of view. I love being in that. Everything else wider than that is really very niche and very specific or job specific. So 28 is perfect for me. So having the fact that it has a 2.8 constant aperture all the way to 105 is great. It's still pretty lightweight. It doesn't have that IS, so you're gonna miss that as well. I'm sorry I keep bringing that up, but that is kind of a big deal to me for that. But it looks like the autofocus is definitely improved, and so it's gonna work well with cameras from like the Sony FX3 and Sony's lines, or the latest Panasonic cameras. Obviously, Blackmagic cameras, not really going to do it because they don't have continuous autofocus. Again, having an all-in-one lens that you don't have to worry about dealing with a constant aperture, this is to me going to be a big, big win, particularly for the L mount, but I think it's going to be very popular even on the E mount system. Especially if you're doing run and guns where you don't want to switch out lenses constantly. You just want to maybe just plop one lens. $1,500 for that, that's a pretty good deal, especially when you compare that to Canon's 24-105 f2.8, which is a beautiful, amazing lens. I actually got a chance to hold it at an event. It's an amazing lens. And the fact that the Canon has the internal zoom, this doesn't. It has that push zoom, so you will have to adjust that on gimbals. Me personally, I think I'm really excited, really eager. I'm gonna try to get one in so I can try it out for both Sony and L mount, since I got Blackmagic and Sony. So definitely tune in for that, and I'll keep you guys updated when that happens. But that's it for the news for today. I would love to know what you guys think about every one of these. Let me know, leave your comments down below. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, everyone.